Okay. How you doing, Mr. Cannon?
Salute, salute. I'm well. I'm energized.
I heard that. I heard that.
Mhm.
So we'll get the party started. Miss Brown, AP Brown, can you let the additional folks in while I make the introduction?
Will you kick the hosting back to me, and I can let them in?
Hold on one moment. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Do.
It's a little tricky as they're coming in, and you're trying to grab the name, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Turn the computer around.
it's tricky.
All right. In the meantime, while we're getting that all set, you've got it. You
Oh
sent
yeah,
it
I
to me?
got it.
All
Yep,
right.
yep, yep. So
So
SCJ,
go ahead. Go ahead.
so SCJR Educational Initiative, and on behalf of Principal Holmes, Assistant Principal Maria Brown, staff administration, and student body from Thornwood High School, home of Thunderbird Nation, we have a very special guest, first ballot Hall of Fame business entrepreneur, television host, Hollywood producer, director, actor, and humanitarian. Please give a warm South Side of Chicago welcome to Mr. Drumline, Mr. Wildin' Out, Mr. Mass Singer, and even Mr. Chi-Raq, the legendary Nick Cannon.
Greetings, greetings, greetings. I mean, it's an honor. I thought I was gonna be a teacher for the day, so I had to,
Yes.
try to get my Mr. Coleman specs on. Try to turn up, but nah, man, it's an opportunity and truly a blessing that I don't take lightly, because to be able to build with y'all and the youth, I mean, truly, you guys cut from a different cloth. This generation means so much to me, but so much to our world. So whatever I can do to salute all of you for just staying focused, staying driven, and being the lights that y'all are, man, it's a real thing. I understand the pressure. I understand what y'all going through, even operating in this vibration, and we need y'all more than ever. So whatever I could do, however I could be a part, I'm supposed to be the teacher of the day, but really I'm here to learn.
You got your plaque right here.
That's love. That's love.
And the next time you're in Chicago, because Chicago loves you, we got you some Garrett's popcorn.
Oh, that's my favorite right there. I was actually out there last week. I'm probably supposed to be coming. I mean, I know it's different now because y'all just got the new lockdown. I was actually supposed to be coming back next week. So hopefully within the next 30 days, I'll be back to the crib out there.
Yeah, then we got you some Chicago Bears helmet too.
I definitely got to come pick that up then.
Yeah, so let us know when you get back. Definitely.
Yeah. Soon as they open it up, I'm on my way back for real.
Mm-hmm. And we also have some special guests that we want to introduce. That's on the call right now. Honor roll students from the Barack Obama Learning Academy, District 152 and a half. We see you, Hazel Crest, go Eagles.
Salute.
And we also have HBCU students from Morehouse, Morgan State, Hampton, Howard.
HU?
In the house as well.
Shouts out to all the HBCU. That's our family.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. And once again, we got our wonderful AP, Maria Brown, in the house.
How's it going? How's it going? It's nice to officially meet you.
Ms. Brown, it's such a pleasure. I've heard great things, so I'm ready to have this new budding relationship that we all can do many things together.
Absolutely, absolutely. And our students are super excited. We might have a couple of more inside of the waiting room waiting to hop in, but we wanted to make sure that our students had the opportunity to be able to talk with you, get some of that inspiration that you give. You're very honest, you're very transparent, and you just consistently do great things across multiple platforms. So it's great.
Nah, that's what it's all about. I mean, I always say my goal is to, educate, inspire, and put people on until I'm gone. So this is what it's all about, and it's my pleasure. Everybody is a celebrity and important in this room today. So however I can, the next generation is what uh, inspires and ignites me. So I'm locked in.
So what'll be great is, I don't know if you're noticing that a bunch of people are beginning to ask questions, but what we've said is if they've got questions, to please put them inside of the chat box and we'll make sure to ask them, or if they would like to actively speak directly to you, to raise their hand so that we can unmute their mics. But we want to make sure everybody has a chance to be heard, to get to talk with you. And then I'm sure Mr. Coleman has some additional questions that he's collected from the group to be able to ask you as well. So this is exciting. It's a big day for us.
So, Mr. Teacher for the day, who was your favorite actor growing up as a kid?
Oh man, my favorite actor growing up as a kid. That's a tough one. Man, I guess if we're just gonna go just dramatic acting, and I mean just the impact, and I definitely have to give it to Mr. Denzel Washington. I mean, that's kind of the holy grail when we see all the amazing things that he's done. My favorite film actually ever made is Malcolm X. So
oh man,
yeah, just his performance in that alone. But I mean, we've seen him do so many outstanding things. But yeah, I would say, but that's like dramatic actor. Before that, I would go with Eddie Murphy. You know what I mean? I feel like I wouldn't even be the guy that I am if I wasn't inspired by Coming to America and Harlem Nights, and, Beverly Hills Cop, all of the things the Nutty Professor, all the things we grew up loving. So definitely Eddie in that space. So comedy, drama, I give you those two.
What is it like to I'm looking. Let me throw it to Miss Stewart. Miss Stewart, can you unmute yourself?
Hi.
Hey, Miss Stewart.
Hi, Nick Cannon. I love you.
Love you.
Just a quick thing I want to say. I have one question, but I want to let you know that a couple years back I actually auditioned for you for Wild and Out.
Oh, what?
Yeah, I'm a professional dancer, so I auditioned. I didn't make it, but
you're doing bigger things. It's all good. Don't worry about that.
Yeah. It's just so great to see like full circle to actually be able to talk to you now, and I'm just so grateful to be able to do that. Just one question. By me also being a dancer, I'm also acting as well with Disney. So I know that you're like a jack of all trades. So I want to know, what are some tips for me to be able to balance my lifestyle while trying to do multiple things?
It sounds like you right there in pocket to what exactly it is. Because I mean, as someone who is what we call multifaceted, and even when I was in school, people would often, I was diagnosed with like ADHD and said I had difficulty focusing. So knowing that I had so much inside of me and wanted to do so many different things, I had to really understand time management. And then even more than time management is energy management. Because I definitely believe time is a man-made thing, but energy is a spiritual thing, like controlling your energy. And when I was in school, I didn't even understand what that was. They just called me hyperactive or sometimes even bad. But when I finally understood, it was just about managing my passions and my energy and applying them all to the same space. So the fact that you got love for dance, the fact that, you have love for acting, and even, figuring out how can I take those energies and bring them all together and do something special and unique. And that's even like, that's how I created Wild and Out. That's how, a lot of those movies like Drumline and different stuff came about, because I was able to bring all of my different energies to things that I really care about and apply them all at once, because it gets kind of difficult when you try to do different things in different directions. And that's where you can lose your focus, because like, all right, today I want to be a dancer. All right, today I want to be an actor. Today I want if you can say like, no, today I want to be a dancer and an actor on this project, or today I want to, you know, focus on my math skills and my automotive skills on this project, or my music ability and, you know, my storytelling on this project, like being a poet and a singer. Like if you can bring all of that into one space and focus your energy at the same time, those are the things that usually become really unique, and also the things that are usually flourish because you put all your energy into one space, even though they're coming from different aspects.
Thank you so much for your information and your help. On behalf of everybody and the people from Chicago, I just want to say thank you for all the work that you've been doing for decades. And continue to be great, even though I know you will. And thank you for those inspirational words. It really helped me a lot.
No doubt. That's what's up. I appreciate you.
So as you know, Chicago loves you. So in your times here in the Windy City, what's your favorite restaurant?
It's crazy because, you know, I've had, you know, my dietary and health issues throughout my life, you know what I mean? And so my diet has been restricted for quite some time, but now I'm really focused on plant-based. But even still, Harold's, I can't front. like, and I don't even eat chicken no more, but now I just need the Harold sauce with my French fries, just to, just even still when I come to the city, just to catch that vibe. But I've always been a huge fan of Harold's, and then like you said, Garrett's popcorn. Like I'm still a junk food junkie, so I'm always on the Garrett's popcorn.
Oh my goodness. We have some questions in the chat. Let me see. Principal Davis from Barack Obama Learning Academy, are you on the call? We'll circle back.
Y'all get me? Okay. Hey, Nick Cannon, how are you? I'm gonna say hello to you first, but I'm also say hello to my students and Mr. Loach, and we even had some graduates up in here from last year and the year before. Suffice it to say, this is a great day for us. We are a pre-K to 8 school in Markham, Illinois. And so we know that there's a lot of high school love happening. You even got my puppies coming over here trying to get up in the call. Do a shout out to Nick Cannon. We have a couple of questions. I do believe that we have Chanel Phillips on the call and Amar Hicks that have questions. And I'm going to get off the mic so my kids can have an opportunity to speak to the illustrious Nick Cannon. So thank you for coming.
You, Principal Davis.
Yeah, I got you. And listen, we got a sweatshirt for you and everything. So Mr. Coleman, I'm gonna hold you accountable. He needs to have all the gear.
Absolutely. You know, Barack Obama geared up. Absolutely.
Yes. Thank you so much. All right, Chanel, come with your question, darling.
Hi.
Hey, Miss Chanel.
My question is, what would you tell your younger self?
I heard that. I didn't hear the last part of the question.
She said, what would you tell your younger self? What advice would you have for your younger self?
That's what I thought she said. Advice to my younger self would be, don't let other people's opinions control your narrative. And simply, you know, probably if I was talking to my younger self, like, hey man, don't worry about what them other folks say. Like, because all my life, people told me no. People told me I couldn't do something. People told me, you know, I wasn't the right complexion, or I wasn't, you know, had in the right tax bracket, or had the right education to do things that I did several times over. And that's in the industry, that's in my life, that people always would, you know, and I always say there's the power of the word no, because the word no shouldn't discourage you, but it should make you more determined to figure out how to get to that yes. And, you know, again, it's your narrative. whatever other people say, you can digest it, but you don't necessarily have to let it affect you. So throughout my career, even still to this day, people tell me things that I can't do or what I can't say or how I can't feel. But, and it's not that I ignore it. It's more about not letting it determine or decide who I am as a person. And in that sense, I had to learn the hard way a few times by letting, people discourage me or get me down or get me depressed. But then, coming out of that, it was easy to understand that other people don't control me, and that none of us are perfect. None of us are given the easy slip. Like, we all got to go through something. I say, don't just go through it, grow through it. Whatever it is that has been placed in front of you, allow that to make you better.
Then we have one more question.
Thank you, Chanel.
I'll go ahead, Mr. Loach. Who is the next question?
It was for, hello, everyone. Hello, Mr. Cannon. Nice to see you and speak with you. Thank you for having taken time out your day to speak with us today. I'm also going to give my time to one of our students, Amar Hicks. Mr. Hicks, you're up.
Hello. All right, so Nick Cannon, who was your favorite teacher that helped motivate you to become the person you are today?
Ooh, that's a good one. Teachers are so important, especially teachers who really care. And it sounds like you guys have some outstanding faculty and leaders who really spend time, because teachers can definitely change your life. I can honestly say I had a lot of more teachers to discourage me, going back to, what I was just saying to Chanel, that, I came up like a lot of us, in a very unorthodox situation. So I didn't have a lot of the help and focus that I would have wanted initially from teachers. So the few teachers that did stand out made a big difference in my life, because I was one of those kids that, was always at the principal's office, or always, I always say, like, I was that kid that after recess, they had to go send me to the office to calm down for a while before I could come back to class, because I would just be so turned up. And the teachers who really understood how to help me manage my energy, and that there was something special in me. It was probably 3 different sections. I would say early on, I was in bilingual classes, because I spoke both Spanish and English, in like my very early, from like kindergarten to 1st grade. So Scjr Washington was somebody who managed my hyperactive energy, and, kind of helped me with having dual languages early on. So that was helpful. And probably once I got to, I would say probably high school, there was a teacher by the name of Mrs. Pyle, who was my creative writing teacher, and even that's when I was actually starting to do stuff, obviously, within my career. And so I wouldn't be at school as much, and I would get behind on my work. And she would actually help me kind of communicate better with a lot of the other teachers who didn't understand what I was doing, who thought I was just playing hooky or not coming to school because I didn't want to, and I was actually trying to, have a budding career in entertainment. And she understood that, that me writing poems and music and all of these, TV ideas was actually creative writing. And, before Mrs. Pyle, it goes back to another one of those teachers in my English department. His name was Mr. Fay. And I think he's one of the guys that gave me like my first just like F in high school, and really told me that, so many words, that I wasn't a good writer. And I remember by the time I got with Miss Pyle, she actually had a conversation with him, and, to my benefit, told me that, not only was I a good writer, but I was a great writer. by the time I graduated high school, I was the youngest television writer in history. So I kind of proved Mr. Fay wrong with the help of Mrs. Pyle.
Oh, wow. That's amazing. That's
But
amazing.
Mr. Cannon, do you still talk to them?
Unfortunately, Mrs. Pyle passed away a while back, but during the time, you know, since I had graduated, we did make a lot of contact, and you know, she was proud of me. I don't need to talk to Mr. Fay. He was a hater.
Oh man.
But yeah, Mrs. Pyle, she was definitely probably one of the most influential teachers and actually helped guide me, you know, through my process of being a writer.
I think we have, oh, go ahead. Oh, I think we have a question from Deja. Deja, are you ready?
Miss Deja?
Okay.
While we getting Deja going, I know there was I see there was a question about me I always call myself a forever student, and I got one of my degrees from Howard this year. You know, even we didn't get to walk across the stage, obviously, because of the quarantine and the pandemic, but I got a degree in criminology from Howard University. And specifically, I chose criminology because I have been doing a lot of work in a lot of the jails and prisons. And even there in Cook County, I've been inside there with the guys a few times and just really connecting with the community. And I really wanted to understand the infrastructure of how our criminal justice system worked. I just didn't want to be another celebrity, be on the news and on Instagram and stuff complaining about we want change, and I don't even understand what I'm trying to change. So in 2016, I actually went in and really, because of my work that I was doing in a lot of these facilities of incarceration and dealing with my guys that's locked up, I wanted to understand how we got here and how we can fix the system. And so now I officially have a degree thanks to Howard University, and you know, all the time in actual criminal justice and you know, the administration of justice. And to take that, I'm still in school. I mean, I had class, you know, I had class every Tuesday and Thursday. Graduate school is a little bit different, but I'll be back at Howard all week next week as well. So it's as much as I used to dislike school when I was younger, I love it now, man. I love education, and because I learned like there's so much power, there's so much ability when we educate ourselves. And I wish I had the ability to partake and have all of the fun when I was, when I was of age to actually be in college, because this time being a grown man in college, it was just all about the books and learning. But there's such a cultural aspect for us at HBCUs and specifically Howard, which we call the Mecca. So I would encourage anybody to definitely look into a HBCU, and that's all of the type of colleges that you see in movies like Drumline and Stomp the Yard. And we got a couple other HBC movies that we're about to produce too, just to show the brilliance of our culture and, not just the education of the mainstream, but the education of who we are as a people.
Yeah. And touching upon HBCUs, you jump-started that spirit with your role on Drumline and taking that momentum from a decade ago. My favorite show of all time was A Different World, the fictional HBCU school, Hillman College and everything. And that spirit, how did you come about getting that role on Drumline, as it just galvanizing that spirit just took off from there?
Yeah, man. I mean, I felt the same way you did. And when I heard they were doing a movie about Black colleges, and how, like you said, from school days to a different world, like those were the things that I had came up on. And I was like, oh, this is gonna be another entry point to this world that for this next generation. And I mean, like I think every young Black entertainer in Hollywood and music was auditioning for that role. I mean, I remember T.I. at the time, and he was on fire. He auditioned for it, like every young Black guy on TV, on sitcoms, and Jason Weaver. He was actually ended up playing my roommate in the movie, but just like everybody was going for that main role. And I'm gonna be honest, like I actually didn't, I never really did well at auditions because, you know, my nervous energy be all over the place and it's, you know, I be forgetting lines and all of that type of stuff. But for some reason that film, you know, I believe the casting directors, they called me in about 8 different times in 8 different ways. And, you know, I remember the night of the last, they call it screen test with the director and everything. I was actually shooting a music video with 3LW and Little Romeo, and I ran late, and I missed the meeting with the director, and I literally drove to the director's hotel and stood outside like, yo, like, this role is for me. And like everybody, even like, I remember Will Smith, who was a mentor and a good friend at the time, called the head of the studio and said, man, this kid is special. He's different. You should look out for him. And, you know, so, you know, the universe and God and everybody, you know, kind of aligning the situation for me to get that role. It was a lot, and it happened. And when it happened, we, you know, myself and Zoe Saldana did the screen test, and the rest is history.
Yeah, it was great chemistry. Deja, are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready. Hi, Nick Cannon.
Hey, Deja.
I want to know, like, what's the biggest lesson 2020 has taught you?
Ooh, that's a great question. Man, the greatest lesson of 2020 would have to be, it's a word called resiliency. And that in itself really just means the strength of who we are as a people, as humanity. No matter what's thrown at us, we still know how to smile through it. We still know how to stand firm through it. And obviously the city of Chicago is probably one of the most resilient cities with the strongest energy I've ever experienced. Just the people that come out of Chicago have such a powerful resiliency, just even based off of y'all weather. You know what I mean? The fact that y'all could go outside and, you know, the wind is blowing, it's just whatever below, and you still get the job done and still make it happen. That's what this year has been for me, because I also understand that this is a year of transition. This is a paradigm shift, as they call it, where things are going to be brought to the surface. Things are going to sometimes feel uncomfortable. But it's all for the better. It's all to show our strength. It's all to show our power. So really this year has shown us how resilient we are as a people.
Absolutely. And I have 1 to 2 more questions. Would you rather be loved? Would you rather be loved or feared? And what is your biggest fear?
Ooh,
and I got that from your segment.
Hey, that's my question right there. No one's ever asked. I usually ask everyone that question. It's like, and I got that from one of my psychology courses. Like they said, you could tell a lot about a person's psychosis based off of if they rather be loved or feared. When really it's kind of a trick question, but because the idea, they actually kind of stem and root from the same place of what we yearn for as people. So, you know, at the end of the day, I think humanity is all about love, but the space of being respected and revered, which is, you know, where fear comes from, actually comes after the love. So I would say love me first and fear me later.
Yeah. What is
my greatest fear? I'm fearless, but I'm saying it has to be something that I just don't mess with. It used to be heights. I used to be super scared of heights, and I don't even know, like, y'all got that, you know, you go to the top of the Sears Tower and look down. I remember I had to, they put me on the top of the Sears Tower one time for America's Got Talent, and I was shook, but I overcame it. You know what I mean? Like, you know, I've kind of done some things to it. I usually like to lean into my fears. So it used to be heights, but I'm good with it now.
Thank you.
No doubt. Thank you.
Sierra Evans from HBCU's Morgan State University has a question.
Hey, Nick, how's it going?
It's good. How you doing?
I'm good. Thank you so much for speaking with us. This is an amazing opportunity just to talk to a legend. We've been following you, but of course, me and my family are big fans of The Masked Singer. We always watch it. So what's new with that, and what inspired you to do Wild 'N Out?
Oh yeah, so Masked Singer. I mean, we're in the middle of the season right now, so I can't tell you too much because the secrets are still out there.
Okay.
Nah, but we're gearing up. We're actually about to launch the Masked Dancer, which is kind of cool because that's it's gonna be another fun with my brother Craig Robinson. He's been in a bunch of movies and stuff like that. He'll be hosting that, so that'll drop soon. And then right after that, in top of the year, we go back into another season. So, it's the #1 show on television, and it was one of those things where it was an idea that I saw it happening internationally, and I was like, for me, I like to put my name and produce things that are different and unique that I think are going to stand out, and that's exactly what it did. And we took a gamble, and it's a zany and crazy idea, but I saw it working in other countries and other territories, so I was like, yo, it's definitely gonna work if we put our swag on it. And then the same thing with Wild 'N Out. That's kind of how I came up with that concept. It was going back to saying somebody who does a bunch of different stuff, being multifaceted. I wanted to mix, hip hop and improv and comedy. And I was inspired by shows like In Living Color and just different shows that we would see on MTV and BET coming up.
Yeah.
Like we needed one for our generation. And, I ended up shooting it and creating it with my own money, all the way back in like 2004, 2005. And, here we are today, and it's going to be, we got a lot of surprises coming up, on the brand. But, now we got restaurants, barbershops, live tours, movies, all stemming from Wild 'N Out. And obviously a lot of your favorite, young comedians and rappers have, started their careers on that show. So we never can let it die. We always got to keep it going.
For sure. I definitely commend you for that. Again, thank you so much. Soon I'll have my own talk show. I'd love for you to be on it. Scjr J. Evans, thank you so much.
Book me. I'm ready.
Okay, got
I'll be your first guest.
AP Brown has some Thornwood students that has some critically acclaimed questions to ask you. AP Brown.
All right, so we've got Jamel Rifkin, who's been trying to hop on for a few minutes. I've seen that mic come on and off. You want to ask your question, sir?
Yes, I got one question.
Yes, sir.
So, cause I play football, cause last year I played football, and so that was my very first year, and I was growing up, I had the same thing with you here, like ADHD, I didn't know how to control it. So, my first year of football, I'm not gonna tell the story. I was like decent, cause I played multiple positions. Like I played like at least like 8 positions, cause my coach seen potential in me. And so this year, I'm just wondering, cause in the future, I'm wondering what should I do? Like, how many positions should I play? What should I do? And cause I want to play. Could you do NFL and NBA or no?
Well, hey, that's to me you sound like you way more of a tremendous athlete than I ever was or ever could be. I definitely know you could. I mean, just from my own understanding, we've seen people, go from NFL and MLB and baseball, and then we've seen basketball players also play baseball. But I don't think I've ever seen an NFL and a basketball player. But you could be the first. I know there's cats who had the skill set to do both. I know people like Terrell Owens,
and Ken Griffey Jr. back in the day was flirting with that, and then he just stuck with baseball.
Yeah, I would love to. Hey, you should definitely be the first person to be in the NBA and the NFL. That'd be fire. But
I got one more question.
Don't let it stop you, man. Focus in on that energy. Focus on being the best you at every position you possibly can be, and the sky's the limit.
I got one more question.
All right.
So, what is your height? Because I'm 6'4".
Oh, you taller than me. I used to try to say I was 6'1" when I would wear Timberlands, 6'1", trying to edge the 6'2", but I'm 6 foot. I could, and even on a bad day, if my hair is cut, I'm probably 5'11" and a half. But I've been to the doctor several times, so they said I'm a standard 6 foot.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
I'll go with.
Hey, Nick.
Hey, I'm trying to see what page you on. I'm trying to figure where.
Who's speaking? Say your name so we can know who you are, and you can pop
Nana
up.
has like a bunch of ends.
Yes, Nana. I was gonna get
there you
next.
go. I see.
Okay.
Awesome.
I just wanted to ask, like, just in the industry, like the acting or like just being famous alone, how do you stay true to yourself?
Oh, such an amazing question. And I would say this, and I don't want to get too esoteric, and I mean, like, I don't want to talk too much in the stars, but no matter what industry you're in, or no matter what place in life you're in, to go inward and to understand who you are is probably as one of the greatest life lessons I've ever learned, in learning how to listen to myself and not listen to social media, not listen to, you know, even others' opinions in my family. It's like when you can be so in tune and really listen to yourself, that is probably what has kept me the most grounded. And those lessons come from people like my grandmother and, you know, even my father and my mother. But again, taking from what they taught me and knowing how to process all of that on my own, whether it's meditation, whether it's prayer, whether it's reading, whether it's just quiet time of just being still, just even to wake up every day and just be like, I'm gonna spend 5 to 15 minutes just going in, you know what I mean? Like, and when I say inward, just allowing that time to just really hear my own voice and know that what other people think about me is none of my business. You know what I mean? What others' opinions are, like, that's their opinions, that's their energy. I often feel like there's so much criticism, and, you know, they say if you live for the praise, you got to die by the criticism. But also the criticism usually comes from other people reflecting their energy on you. So when protecting your own energy, you can't listen to that. The critics are often an autobiography from the critics. So when you know who you are and trust in who you are and really just trying to be the best person you can be, that'll keep you grounded, because usually other people and other outside energy will cause you to forget who you are and cause you to not be grounded. Good and
I agree with you.
Yeah, good and bad.
That actually takes us. Oh, tell me your name. I'm gonna go down in the list that I can see. Right now, we've got Mary Lou, who wants to ask you a question that talks about what you just said. And then if I could grab, so get ready. Chanel, Anthony, Anijah, Drea, Sanaya, and Aaron. Y'all got it?
That's the
I'll
order.
ask the question, Maria.
Because it's moving fast.
This is Mary Lou Gonzalez, and I'm an administrator. I've had many students, and I just had a major loss of a student right now. So, but I do have a question, and I tried really hard to always, when, like what you just said right now, like to not let people influence your energy. I always love to tell my students exactly what I did. So in all practicality, like, this is my routine. So when I wake up, and I would spell it out. I do a PowerPoint presentation back in the day and be like, this is what I do next, and this is what I do next. And then you can tailor it to your own. Like, what is your routine? What do you do that then makes you feel better?
Oh, that's powerful, Ms. Gonzalez, and definitely sorry for your loss. But you sound like someone who's aligned, is what I like to call it, and so in tune with. And it takes a minute for at least it took a minute for me to even find that infrastructure. And sometimes we're reminded by certain events in life to get back aligned, and aligned is really just like getting lined up, getting things in order. And that goes back to what I was talking about, like energy management and time management. So when I'm aligned, when I'm 100% locked in, I get up extremely early. You know, I feel like when everybody else is quiet, again, that's that time where I get to spend with myself. You know, before everybody else turns on, I can kind of have the foresight. I feel like I call it the Batman hours, where I could just kind of look over the city and look over the vibe and see, you know, how I'm gonna move throughout the day. So whether it's like 4 or 5 a.m. in the morning, and sometimes because I've been up all night. Sometimes my sleep isn't as plentiful as I might want it to be, but still something about being up at those hours to start my day allows my focus to get right, allows me to find that peace. And then from there, it's all about the health regimen. So once I go from being aligned and locked in, you know, first thing I do is, you know, I grab like a liter of water and down it. One for discipline, one for health purposes. You know, my goal is to drink as much water throughout the day. People always, I know we all grew up hating water and wanting to drink soda and juices and all that stuff. But when you really think of the core, like the body is 80% water. So it's really like you filling up your gas tank every morning, and it just gets you feeling better, get all the stank out your mouth, like all that type of stuff. Like there's something about the power of water that is, to me, is better than coffee, better than all of that stuff. And actually just for my own health purposes, gets me locked in that discipline to drink water every single day, kind of starts that path. And then from there, then it's the regular routine that everybody else does. So after, you know, the quiet time, prayer, water, then it's, you know, showers and gym and working out, and then hopefully getting to, you know, whether it's my radio show, my TV show, or the office, the studio. That kind of is the course to the rest of the day. But really starting focusing on me and my health every single morning. And if I got a midterm or something like that, cramming through these books to hurry up and make sure I don't fail my test.
So just so you know, Mary Lou and I are like taking a look at all of your books behind you. I'm a former English teacher and master's degree in English before I went into administration. So this is giving me life all behind you.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's some strong ones up there too.
Yeah. So we've kind of kept a running list while you've been talking, because there will be things that we're adding to our community.
Yeah, it's a lot of my favorite ones. This is a small section of it's funny, like I got a huge sneaker collection, I got a huge car collection, but the thing that I love more than anything is my book collection.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, I got a couple of, you know, places that I live. I got a crib, Chicago, New York, all that, but I have to have bookshelves and libraries and all of them. And
every single one, right?
That's the thing more than any, you know. It's funny, like when we came up, we used to have like books of CDs and books of DVDs. Yep. You be like just showing your collection off, and that grew to like having, you know, collections of books. And, you know, there's something that obviously the wisdom and the knowledge in these books. You know, I wish I started, you know, reading at a earlier age. Probably the first book that I ever read was Dick Gregory's autobiography when I was in high school. I was just in the high school library, you know, got in trouble, got sent to the library. And that book stood out to me. He was, you know, one of the first comedians to actually help out Richard Pryor and Bill Cosby and so many others, and actually became a personal friend over the years. But his book was the first book that, you know, when I was about 15 years old, that I really dove into and read for the first time. And from that point on, I've been reading nonstop and trying to read everything I can, and just, you know, trying to educate. And it's cool to be, girls like smart guys, I learned. So once I had some real information, I had some isms I could talk about, it worked out for me.
Yeah. Cassidy has a question, and I'm going to try to keep you guys in the order that I saw you, but it's a little bit tricky. And then I know we've got some art students that are in here that want to talk with you as well. So we're going to try to get to everything. All right, Cassidy, you ready?
Yes. I just wanted to start off by saying thank you for coming in. It means a lot. I had a quick question. You were mentioning earlier about people being discouraging. So what advice do you have for younger people who want to get into entertainment or anything? And, you know, teachers or even their parents might be discouraging.
Live your passion. One thing I know, what I've learned about teachers, and even, you know, myself being a parent, when you see a passionate young person, even if they're not going down the path that you may want them to go down, you got to respect their passion. And it's our goal as, you know, educators and leaders and parents to help monitor that passion and help guide that passion. And if your passion is in entertainment, you are alive during one of the greatest times ever, because I wish I had a lot of the tools and the platforms that the young people have today, because, you know, when I came up, there was no YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, TikTok, none of that stuff. Like, I was literally carrying big camcorders around with VHS tapes and hoping I can go from people's house to house putting my videos in their VCR. Like, it was like there was no going viral. So to be able, you know, to watch, you know, how creative young people can be, and, you know, make a TikTok video and that turns into an entire commercial, or make a YouTube show that turns into a television show that's watched by millions. This truly, it's limitless on the possibilities that wherever your creativity takes you. And I would also say there's power in numbers, as we know. So find someone else who's just as passionate as you. Find someone who has the same thing and does the same thing that you like, because when you can gather together and make something special, that's community. And then when you have a whole community supporting you, as you know, that's when the fan base builds, and before you know it, you guys have created an entire movement. So, you know, there's such a powerful community of artists and community of young entertainers, especially in the city of Chicago. I mean, it's so, you know, we would go to America's Got Talent and we'd spend weeks in Chicago just because it was so much different stuff going on culturally. And, you know, you would see several of them on the show. And even, you know, there's a lot of people who are on Wild 'N Out that we got from Chicago that continue to just thrive. And so you're in the right environment and alive during the right times to be the best you that you can possibly be.
I have a question.
Thank you.
Is that Kamaria?
No, it's Ashley.
Okay, hey Ashley.
Okay, hi Nick.
Ashley.
First, all I gotta say is I'm so thankful that you came to meet with us. And also, what was your favorite episode on Wild 'N Out?
Oh, my favorite? Man, that's a hard one. I would say, and I don't know why they do not air this one. It was a episode that Cat Williams actually came back and he was the team captain. And I have no clue. I have to, you know, once things get back on track, I really got to dig into the archives and wonder why they don't air that one much. I was like, did he say something reckless or something that we weren't allowed to air? Because, and the reason why that one was probably my favorite, because as we know, Cat Williams went on to be one of the biggest comedians in the game, but he, you know, he got a lot of his notoriety and his start on Wild 'N Out. And whether it's people like him or even Kevin Hart, he comes back all the time, or, you know, even as we see what 85 South is doing right now and DC Young Fly, to see these gentlemen or even ladies with like B Simone and Pretty V, and just hilarious. We see them kind of enter as newcomers and they're very green, and then they go on to become stars of their own. And then when they come back and show love to the next cast members, that to me just is really what the show is all about and why I created the show. And then, you know, when anybody says something wild and off the cuff, and people like Cat Williams are known for that. So I would definitely say that's one of those episodes that probably comes on every once in a while, but it's definitely one of my favorites.
I have a question.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead, Kamaria. I know you've been waiting, ma'am.
Okay, so my question is, okay, so I'm an upcoming artist, like, cause I like rapping, and there's like a lot of negativity around me, and it's like it's no motivation. So like, what are things that actually motivated you so that it can help me so I can stay motivated?
Not only was I just like you, I'm still like you in that sense, to where as an artist, I'm probably the first to get frustrated. I'm probably the first to seek motivation to keep doing it. You know what I mean? I've been doing it for so long. But there's one thing about art, is it's in your soul. And it really, to me, art, music specifically, is my peace, my escape, my happy place when I am frustrated. Even like we got stuff. I mean, it's a piano everywhere I go. It's a guitar everywhere I go, because I believe the spirituality of what music and the vibrations are is really something that was placed on this planet that we have yet to even understand. We all know the power of music. We all have a favorite song. We can all remember on our saddest day what song was playing, on the happiest day what song was playing. We all connect through music, and we all have our favorite artists. And there's something about the power of music that heals. And even in times when you down, that's where I go to. That's actually, even when I'm not motivated, whether it's putting on another song, whether it's writing a song, whether it's tapping in with another artist who's giving me those same vibes, and you guys are in a city, to me personally, I believe, Chicago, especially when it comes to hip hop, is probably the best when it comes to just the art form of substance and talent and skill all in one. And that's everything from the Juice Worlds to the Kanyes to the Chances to the Commons to, you know what I mean? When you think about, to the Dirks, to the Herbos, to the, just, it's so much type of, like, from, like you said, even if it's negativity, and even when it comes to our music, sometimes when it seems like it could be ultra violent and angry, that's that pain that our community goes through. And that's we utilize music as an outlet, and everybody wants music to be their escapism. Everybody wants to use music to help us get out of bad situations. And I think that's what God put music in our life for, is the sound of the angels. It gives us that opportunity to release. So even when you feeling down, just write them bars. Even, write it out. And eventually you may not use it immediately, but those are gonna be those moments that not only will the writing help you release and be therapeutic for you, but then whatever that writing then turns to in the future, you can remember and share those moments with the world.
Our art students, 750253. It looks like you are maybe on a phone or something.
Hi.
You ready to rock and roll? Hey, hey.
My name is Ajayla Self. I have a question. Hi, Nick.
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm alive and energized.
That's good. My siblings and I, we're entertainers and artists, and we've done a musical called Pink Princess, and it's about breast cancer. We've been doing it for about 4 years, and we wanted to take a tour this year, but the pandemic is stopping us from doing a lot of the things we want to do. So my question is, how do entertainers get the attention of people so that we can bring awareness to real and positive topics, especially in like a pandemic?
Well, first, let me applaud you and commend you on, it sounds like it's an outstanding project, an outstanding subject matter, collectively for you all to come together and then want to share that message with the world is dope. But just like, all of us, none of us expected the pandemic. None of us expected 2020 to be the year that it is. But there's a lot of opportunities, digitally, even what we're doing right now. People are locked in front of their screens in a different way than they've ever been before. And people are ready to be entertained. People are ready for escapism. People are a lot of times I think they've been talking about like the numbers on content and movies that we've watched, just this year alone, the the statistics on the hours that we've spent in front of these screens have like quadrupled since the pandemic has occurred. So if there's any way to kind of, whether it's a short form viral piece of what you guys have been doing, and whether we all know the various platforms, but to put it out there, and it sounds like it's outstanding. When you make great art, people gonna find it, and then hopefully we can all be released from our homes soon, and we can gather and commune again in healthy and safe spaces. I think that's our goal. I mean, when the pandemic went down, we were in the middle of the Wild 'N Out tour. And no one could believe it that we were on this sold out tour all over the world, and we had to all go back home. So on every level, from the biggest stars in the world to people doing things in their community, I think everybody's anxious and ready to get back going. So, but we got to do it in a safe and healthy way. So we got to let the people who know what they are supposedly know what they're doing instruct us for a while, and then we can get back to it when everything's all clear.
Nick Canyon. Oh, sorry. I just want to ask you 2 questions. So, what's your favorite season of Wild 'N Out?
Ooh, season 8. Season 8, we went back to Hollywood. It was big. That was DC Young Fly's first season. It was just a fun season. It was really fun, and that was like halfway through to where we are now.
I'm just gonna say my favorite episode in season 13 was I forgot what was the number, but it was like the one when DC on Fly had went up to D-Raq and just like started cooking him. It was just it was like so funny. It was like it just made me like start laughing like extra hard, like for real.
Nah, that boy DC is a wild boy. You never know what he's gonna do. And I wasn't playing. He got mad because D-Raq kept giving him a buzzer over there and let him have it. So that's really what it is. And we still, you'll probably be one of the first to tell you guys that we cooking up some exciting stuff to kind of have that show and the culture come back in a big way, stronger than ever.
Yeah,
it goes back to the resiliency that we was talking about, that what 2020 is all about, to where no matter what's thrown your way, you take it in and you throw it back.
Nick, how much time do we have with you? Because we've got like a good 10 more questions, and we're coming up on that hour. And so
yeah, let's get to it. Let's answer these questions. I'll push everything.
We appreciate it.
No doubt.
Okay, so we had I think I saw Jada and Desi, and I'm going straight down. So I see Jada, Desi, Chanel, Cheyenne, Daria, Jocelyn, Aaron, Haziza. So we're gonna go straight down, starting with Jada and then Desi.
All right. Hi. I know you can't see me. I'm babysitting right now. But I know I'm backtracking a bit, but I was wondering, I heard you talk about poetry I heard that you did poetry, and I wanted to know was it a good influence? I love poetry, and I was wondering if it's a good influence to go inside of the
poetry is my life. I mean, I have
TV career with that.
Yeah, I have a full tattoo right here that says poet. It's probably one of my favorite tattoos. And I feel like I wrote my first poem when I was about 7 or 8 years old, and I was introduced to a poet by the name of Shel Silverstein. His books like, Where the Sidewalk Ends, Light in the Attic, and it was just like funny little poems. And this was a time where hip hop was just becoming what hip hop is, and I saw the similarities in poetry and hip hop at an early age, and I always had a gift of being able to freestyle, like stuff that we do like on Wild 'N Out, so there was a difference between rapping, which was like freestyling and being silly and having fun, and poetry where I would take my time to write things out and understand everything from haikus to limericks and all other different types of poems. And that, even to this day, has affected my career in such a powerful way. I mean, some of the most potent things that I've done artistically have been poems that have gone viral, and and I feel like that's where I get to utilize my social voice, my political voice, even though I'll never try to be political, but when I make statements about the community that really resonate the most, I mean, when I had the opportunity to go to, as I call it, ground zero in Minneapolis, when George Floyd was murdered, we wrote a poem right there on the spot that went viral called "I Can't Breathe Again." That so many people called me and told me it was from Stevie Wonder to some of my other favorite poets. It was like, man, that was so powerful. And I've written poems about Black people at the Oscars, and some of my favorite MCs like Jadakiss was like, man, that was some of the coldest bars I ever heard. So even poetry in my life, I've written children's poem books, kind of like Shel Silverstein, but even my poetry that's a little bit more mature is really my opportunity to express my voice in a way that I don't get to do on TV or when I do stand up or even in music. Like poetry is really that space where you can say something and from some of the greatest poets like Bill Scott Heron to the last poets to
books and books and books, but I just never post. I have a hard time figuring out what type of career I desire. So I guess I think I might just resign in that because poetry makes me feel good and I feel like I express myself more than I do with my words when I write poetry.
Likewise, I would just say keep writing. I mean, some of the people everybody that I know that's in tune, that's an artist, definitely has a poetry book somewhere. I mean, even people like Tupac was an amazing poet, and people that you see that they just write those poems down. If anything, like I said, it's therapeutic, but you never know where those words can go in the future.
Taya Thomas, can you?
Go ahead.
I'm ready.
Go ahead, Taya.
I'm ready.
All right, go ahead.
So Nick, when you first started in the industry, did you have stage fright? And if so, how did you get over it?
I started so young. I never really had stage fright, especially coming up in the church. I always wanted attention. So I was trying to jump on every stage I could. So I started as a kid. So even still to this day, only time I get stage fright is when I'm not prepared. I hate that. Like not being like that's even in school. Like the teacher call on you and you don't know the answer or you don't want that's the worst. Like I always try to make sure I stay ready so I never have to get ready. So then I never have to be nervous.
I have two more. So you've been in the industry for a while now. At the beginning, how did you make such a big name for yourself?
Doing something different, doing something nobody else was doing. I started out doing stand-up comedy even though I wanted to be a rapper, I wanted to be an actor, everybody was those spaces were so crowded. And I was so young and there was no, I was in the comedy clubs with like the Chris Tuckers, Dave Chappelle's, Eddie Griffin's, the Wayans, and I was the youngest one. So I stood out. And then from that, I got opportunities with like Nickelodeon and Will Smith and movies. And it was all because I was so young and I was doing something different. If I was just another kid rapping, I would have just been another kid rapping. If I was just another kid showing up to an audition, I would have been that. But the fact that I was the only kid in the comedy clubs made me stand out.
Okay, thank you. And the last one was, I just wanted to thank you for everything you've done for Chicago and how much you showed that you care.
No doubt. Anytime. We're not done. We got so many things that are going on in Chicago that I'm excited about. So thank you. But it's just the beginning. We got a lot of work to do.
Thank you.
I think we have a Howard University undergraduate student on the call.
Oh, HU?
Webster.
No.
No.
Hi, Nick. I'm a sophomore health management major at Howard. And I wanted to ask
Howard introduction. I like that.
But I wanted to ask you what inspired you to choose your major. But after hearing your answer, I just commend you we need more people to give back and to create change. So I'm really thankful that you're doing that. And I wanted to know, how were you able to manage being a student and your career?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I started off in the School of C when my freshman year because I thought it was gonna be easy. Just because, oh, I'm in communications, I get a degree in communications, I should be able to apply some of this, it should work. And
right.
And it was actually an interesting major, strategic, legal, and management in the School of C that actually helped. It gave me a lot of leeway to kind of figure out what I wanted to do and if I was able to apply anything. But because of my passion and my conviction, and one specific professor by the name of Dr. Muhammad, who was in the criminology department, she kind of helped guide me through criminology and the administration of justice major that I ended up accomplishing. So sometimes it's your professors that'll guide you, and she just, like I said, I'm gonna be honest, I thought I was gonna be able to take the easy way out. I just wanted a degree, and I was like, communications, I'm in communications, I'll figure it out. And then when I saw where the entire country's passion was going towards criminal justice, and I was already doing the work, so as a student, all you got to do is kind of say, well, I'm taking these classes anyway, and this is going to help me in this, and I'm spending hours and hours in these prison systems, and there's a way to show that work and do the work that I was already doing. So that's how I ended up getting my degree in criminology and doing all the other stuff that I do all together. It was really the help of Dr. Muhammad.
Thank you.
No doubt.
I have a question.
Go for it, Desi.
Hey, Nick Cannon. I loved you and loved on. And I was wondering what tips you have for me to make it into the acting industry, and how many times did you get turned down before you were accepted in the acting industry in the music?
And I still get turned down. It don't ever stop. But I'll give you a tip, because this kind of probably answers your first question, because again, you're a part of an environment in a city that thrives off of art, specifically in the theater arts, in the world of acting. What I did is more than anything had the opportunity to create my own opportunities, because people told me no so much. And I would sit around and create my own ability, or like little videos or really little shows. And that's even how I was able to create, Wildin' Out. I shot that with my own money. I different stuff to where I was just able to dive in and not wait for an audition, because I'm be honest, like I was scared of that auditions. I was nervous. And so I was like, let me build platforms and do things to where people can see my talent without me having to go into a room and impress some people.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
No doubt.
Go ahead.
Hey, what's up, little sis?
Okay, so I want to start off. Okay, well, I want to start off by saying I really love Drumline, for one. And I watched a lot of Wildin' Out episodes, right? Oh, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, just making sure. So I was watching your Wildin' Out episodes, and I was seeing how everybody seemed comfortable with each other. Like, was it any times on Wildin' Out where like y'all actually got serious? Cause like a lot of the jokes was just like, it looked like it was taken.
Yeah, all the time. It is what it is, what you see. The beauty of it, and even once you feel like it's a community, it's a close-knit family. So we know like there's certain things that, we can joke about and make fun of each other because we family, and we can only say that to each other. But when an outsider says something, we get upset. So a lot of times, if you even notice, when people may come, like you'll see like Conceited or DC or Chico, Carlos, or somebody might say something like that seems offensive or crossing the line to me, and we all kind of laugh about it. But then like somebody who's not a part of the family or somebody come on the show and they say something about me and everybody get mad because it's like they sticking up for me, or like, it's just like any other family. So, but again, that's because we've known each other for so long. We worked with each other for so long, and we know that, you know, it's all fun. And the beauty about Wild 'N Out, which I always tell people, is like, it's probably the most progressive show on television, because you can find people from all different walks of life, poor, rich, you know, different races, ethnicities, genders, who get the opportunity to express themselves and be funny and go head to head, but it's all love. Like, even if it seems like a joke goes too far, you see them hug and laugh about it towards the end, and it just shows the spirit of saying, hey, we can get over our differences, and we don't even have to disguise our differences. We can be different, we can point at the difference, but long as there's no hate or discrimination involved, you know, we can get past it and go together. So that's even what the show is all about.
Okay. Excuse me.
Yes, what's your name?
This my little brother TJ. He just want to ask you a quick question.
Hi, what's up, man?
Have you ever been like do you still be in Wild 'N Out, or you just take some time off?
Nah, you know, that's a great question. And that's what I was saying, I was sharing with everyone else, is that, you know, we cooking up something really big and really major that you guys will see very soon. So I'm glad you asked that. So, you know, I know a lot of people were worried that Wild 'N Out was going away, but, you know, we just regrouping and getting it back the way that it's supposed to be, so that people can embrace it.
I have 2 questions to ask you.
Hold on, Tramel. You've asked like 4 questions. We got like 12 people in line being so.
Can I ask a question?
But we love you, Tramel. We love you.
Too. Yeah.
Can I go?
Can I ask my question?
Hold on. We've got.
While the order is getting situated, I'm going to throw it to a special young lady, Kennedy Mitchum. She's a recent graduate from the Drake University. She has a couple of questions for you. She recently made history this summer by single-handedly forcing the Merriam-Webster's dictionary to change their 189-year-old definition of racism. So without further ado, Kennedy.
Wow, it's a pleasure.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Pleasure to meet you.
So I
got questions for you.
I went to a private writing semester, and I know that came with a lot of challenges in itself, but I think it kind of made me realize how when you are and when you don't have that seat, it's like you have to keep fighting and fighting and fighting. So one thing that I wanted to ask is, how important do you think activism is in utilizing your platform to fight for the voiceless?
That's a great question.
Great question. I honestly think it's about authenticity, to be honest, you know, because everybody ain't gonna get a seat at the table. And, you know, like even Tyler Perry said it brilliantly, like some people got to go build their own table. But we're in this woke generation, which I like I like it. You know what I mean? I like the fact that everybody is conscious and paying attention, but also activism has become like a trend. And so it's more about the authenticity, and it's more about connecting into your community, and not just doing it for the likes, or doing like, let me take a picture for the gram of me being an activist. And that's just finding a healthy balance. Because you do want to show people that, you know, we are a community and we can stick together and empower the voiceless and create platforms, but at the same time, you don't want to do it, you know, as a marketing tool. So when you can really find passion, like I have a passion for young people in education, you know, it doesn't necessarily always have to be about you getting as many likes or getting them as much attention, but knowing when to put the attention on it, when it's time to create policy, when it's time to get more funding for school systems, when it's time to stand firm because something's going wrong in our communities, and we see the things like Breonna Taylor or George Floyd. When we can really get there and show that our power and numbers can shift culture, that's when it's wise to do it. But we got to be very delicate to where it doesn't just become like, oh, look at me, I'm marching, you know, because I'm trying to get my Instagram followers up.
I completely agree. But thank you.
No problem. Thank you for all you do.
Thank you.
Hi, Nick Cannon.
Hey.
Can I
My
ask you?
son is so thirsty for me to speak to you.
No doubt, no doubt.
All
How
right.
are you?
I'm well, I'm blessed.
Stay safe.
You do the same.
All right.
Love.
Tasia, you've been super, super patient, man. Go ahead and go next.
Hi, Mr. Cannon. I had a question. I wanted to ask, what are some things someone should know before starting an acting career?
That you really want to do it. There's no, I don't think there's no set rules. I mean, there's some great schooling, some great coaching, some great teachers, but some of the best actors that I know have dedicated their life. And that's to anything that you want to do. Dive in it, lean into it, and know this is what I want to do in my life. This is my calling. This is my assignment. And that I have no other option. Those are usually the people that become the most successful. The people who dabble in it, usually that's exactly what they do. They just stick their toe in the water. They don't really go swimming. So if it's something that you really feel like this is your life calling and your passion, there's no set rules. There's no specific book. There's a lot of them out there, but it has to be, again, what you feel within that this is your calling.
Okay, thank you.
No doubt.
And then Chanel and Cheyenne and Jocelyn. Chanel, Cheyenne, and Jocelyn.
Hi, my question is, do you still talk to the people that was wilding out?
You said, do I still talk to the people from Wildin' Out that have been on the show? Yeah, I mean, all the time. I mean, again, it's so interesting because there's generations of the people that, since we've been on the show. So some of the people are older than me, some of the people I'm the same age as, and some of the people are younger. So I have different relationships with everyone. But I think I have a great relationship with every cast member that has ever really been on the show. And sometimes there's so many that come through, and some people I get really close with because, again, we're the same age group and kind of came up together. And then there are some people that I probably didn't get to know as well because just proximity. But I'm proud of, everyone who kind of came through, and every time I see somebody or, we stay in contact through, through social media, and even, once the pandemic is over, we all get that opportunity to get together. It's all a good party.
We have a young lady from your arch rival, Hampton University.
The fake HU.
Amira Jones
Y'all
in the
just
house.
hurt my feelings. Y'all hurt my feelings.
We love Hampton. We love Hampton. They call themselves the real HU.
Hi, Nick. My name is Amira Jones. I'm a junior marketing major at Hampton University. And just like everyone else, I wanted to thank you for coming out today. My question really has to go back to when you mentioned passions. I really wanted to know, my parents talk to me all the time about enjoying what you do and building a career out of things that you actually like. So I just wanted to know how you have built a career out of your passion.
Yeah, the old saying goes, find something you love and you'll never have to work a day in your life. And I honestly believe that my vocation is my vacation. People always say, man, when you going on vacation? I'm like, I'm on vacation. You know what I get to do for a living? Like, I get to wake up each and every day and be creative. And, I come from it. So you come from the mud. I know the jobs that my granddad had to do. I know the jobs that my dad had to do. I know the struggle of watching people in my family have to, do 3-4 jobs at a time and still not accumulate to minimum wage. So I get paid to not only help others, but for me to come up with creative ways to create opportunities for others. And if you don't have passion about that, to have passion not only for your people, but also passion to create something that's going to be last long, and where we can sit here and talk about my different movies, TV shows, and all of these different things, like that's something I feel like that's a legacy that is truly a blessing. So I encourage anybody to find a passion, and if you can make money on your passion, that's success.
Hi, Nick. I am a teacher at Thornwood High School, and I just wanted to commend you for speaking about HBCUs. I'm a product of a HBCU, Spelman and Clark. where you actually filmed Drumline. So it's so exciting for me to hear you talk about it because I know what the nurturing does and how wonderful it is. So I'm really glad that you're speaking to our students about the importance of HBCUs. And
no doubt. And we're about to do another movie at Clark that I want to tell you what it's about, but it's a secret because it's going to be really big. But I'm just saying, we got another movie from the AU Center that is culturally important that everybody is going to go crazy for. We're going to shoot that at the end of next year. But, I really got a passion for HBCUs, especially now being a product of it and being one of the faces of them with, Drumline and many others, where it's something so important, not only about us, showing the education, the academic approach of the idea of what, these degrees can do for someone's career, but more importantly, I feel like what HBCUs do, they give us the opportunity to educate and inspire and teach us more about ourselves and import or pass on and become a portal for wisdom within, the Black community. So even these last 4 years, I've probably learned so much about myself through the HBCU experience. And, I'm a grown man, father and providing for a household, but I was still such a student even in these last 4 years at Howard that, I feel like I gained so much from that HBCU experience.
Thank you for that so much.
No doubt.
All right. I think I saw Haziza, Aaron. You guys ready? And then Diamond. Diamond, you guys have all been waiting for a little bit, so.
Yeah, I think Diamond had her hand up.
I know, man. I'm like, I'm coming, sweetie. I'm coming.
Okay. So I'm gonna ask you a question about.
Were your parents supportive of you?
Well, your parents is supportive of you.
Hi, Mom. She wants to know if your parents were supportive of you.
Absolutely. I heard her loud and clear. I would definitely say it's interesting. I grew up in an unorthodox household to where my parents, when they had me, were actually still in high school. And, I've shared this story many times where, their family members may not at the time weren't that supportive, the idea of, early days and, kids having kids. That was a very harsh and taboo topic. But from the beginning, my mom, held me down, and it was difficult for her being a young lady and having to work several jobs and not being able to go to college because she became a mother and had to figure out how to provide for this little baby. And my dad was doing stuff in the streets and eventually, luckily, turned his life around and got an opportunity to go to a HBCU in North Carolina and changed his life. But for that time, he wasn't really a part of my life. So luckily, his mother actually stepped in during that time, and my grandmother was extremely supportive. So at the time, it's probably just my mom and my grandmother raising me. And they saw this hyperactive, rambunctious little kid, and throughout my entire upbringing, were supportive of everything I wanted to do, even when I was getting in trouble, even when I was doing things I may not have been warranted to do. They made sure they guided me in the right direction, and all the way. It's definitely some ups and downs, but they always supported me with love, and I always wanted to show not only the appreciation but the respect and admiration that I have for my mother and my grandmother and even my dad eventually, that, I wanted to make them proud and so that, that I saw how much they supported me and I wanted to just pay that back.
Thank you.
Thank you, Diamond.
You're welcome.
First question.
Hey, can I slide my question in real quick?
No, Tramel.
No, it's Eric. It's Eric.
Oh, we've been waiting for you, Aaron. Yes, absolutely.
Go ahead, Eric.
Eric.
Yeah.
So,
I'm sorry, Eric. I see you.
It's all right. So, my question is, what HBCU do you think that has good academics as well as good sports like track and football?
Come on, man. You know what I was saying. Now, I would love to say Howard, but let's keep it a stat. And let's keep it a stack. We definitely got to say it's, Deion Sanders is about to be coaching at
Jackson State.
right?
Jackson
So,
State, yeah.
I mean, come on, like
Jackson
if
Stewart.
you going football, if it was me, I want to be under prime time. So,
True.
but
My
obviously,
parents been to Jackson State, so
yeah, and then obviously we know Grambling is a beast. Grambling's always been a beast when it comes to the sports. So, that my goal is to hopefully make a bunch of all of our young athletes, first and foremost before they choose any of the other colleges. Build that in our community.
Appreciate it, sir.
No doubt. Keep going.
And then Daria, I hear you want to share some
Mr. Nick Cage.
waiting as well. Mr. Rifkin, mute your mic, sir.
Oh my gosh.
Thank you. Go ahead, Daria. You've been waiting.
Yes, I have. I just want to say I am so honored to talk to you. And I am a senior in high school and I have a job and I'm trying to save money and stuff. But it's like really hard sometimes for me to like not give up and to keep doing what I'm doing. So like I just wanted some advice toward that.
She says this right after getting accepted into Grambling, by the way. I just want to point that out. Okay, go ahead.
I did. And my number one choice is actually Prairie View A&M in Texas.
Congratulations. That's outstanding. I mean, I definitely, remember those times where I actually had to make that decision early on and wasn't able to, financially attend college. So, and it was because I had to go to work and, hopefully and help, take care of my family. But I always knew like eventually I'm gonna go. And it was just this thing that was just sitting on my back for years. And even as I became a parent and, I emphasize education to my own kids, I'm always doing stuff like this. And I hadn't even, went to college. So when I tell you it was such a life-changing experience to actually step in and complete my education, I probably never been more fulfilled because I wanted it for so long. So that in itself, if I could, I would say I'd never have any regrets, but if I could do it all over again, I would have loved to experience college at like 17, 18, 19. But those were the times that I was working, and I got to experience it later in life. And even I got to play a college freshman in a couple of movies. So that was definitely a cool experience. But I would just encourage you to continue to be inspired. I mean, you're already on the right track. You're doing amazing things, but I would just, this is probably going to be some of the best times of your life what you're about to step into. And they're not going to be easy, especially like I said, when I first got on here, like this is an unprecedented time. And, you young people are experiencing things that no other generation has ever experienced. But that's because you're the chosen ones. You're the ones that, are supposed to go through this in a way that no one else has ever. You guys will be able to talk about the year 2020 like no one else has ever been able to talk about it. And it's exciting. You're the leaders of tomorrow. So take this, embrace it for all it is, and take the good with the bad, and allow that resiliency to show through.
Thank you so much. Oh my gosh. Nick Cannon, like.
Congratulations. I it's an honor to know you and to talk to you.
Aaron and Chanel, and then, we're coming up on 2:29. I do not know what Zoom does when we've been on for an hour and a half. And so, I want to be mindful of that and mindful of time as well. But again, trying to make sure we get to everyone, because how often do we get to have these kinds of conversations and just share this kind of knowledge? So, Aaron and
people who already went. My name is Diane.
Yeah, Ken, because you called me and I didn't get a chance.
I sure did, Drea. Go ahead, Drea.
I was supposed to go before a couple people.
Go ahead.
Did. Go for it. You're right.
Is my camera on?
No.
We can't see. We can hear you though.
OMG, I'm so sorry for the technical difficulties. I'm so sorry you guys can't see me, but you guys can hear me, right?
Oh, no worries.
You're all good.
You said you can hear me?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. We can hear you. Ask your question.
Okay, so first off, hey Nick.
Hey.
I just want to start off with first and foremost, I love creative writing as well. I love to write music. I love to write poetry. I love to write stories, like basically anything you can name it. And I just want to start off with like asking you, like, do you believe that you'll be where you are now, successful as you are now, like without creative writing? Do you believe you'd be there? And would you suggest majoring into creative writing in college?
Oh, yeah, those are great questions. I definitely don't believe I would be where I'm at without the creative arts. I honestly wish I had the opportunity to dive into it earlier and more. I mean, it was always like extracurricular activities for me coming up. And I wish, you know, I play several different instruments now, and, you know, that's just because that's like coming up in church and being a hyperactive kid who just loved to be around it. But I never had any formal training in any of it. And I wish I really did. I wish I would have got formal training in, you know, piano and guitar and bass and even wind instruments. I wish I would have had formal training in acting. I actually, when I was at Howard, I had an opportunity to take a few classes in the creative arts department, and that department was just full of just amazing talent. And I was like, man, it would have been so cool to be able to kind of sharpen my skills in that space before I jumped into the world professionally. So I would definitely encourage you to do it. And just because not only is it just a great space, a great career, and a lot of fun, but, you know, art is a great place to put your energy, and it's therapeutic. And, you know, whatever you need to do to get anything out of your system, there's an art for it, you know. So the creative arts is truly the backbone of our culture. So why not?
Oh, wow. Thank you so much. Have a good day too.
You too. Nice to talk to you, Dre.
I can go now.
Go for it.
Okay. Hi, McKinney.
Hey.
One thing I'm gonna say is I absolutely love you. I look up to you. Like, you is my inspiration. Like, I've been watching Wild 'N Out for as long as I can remember, and then I'm not gonna lie, when I heard that they said they might cancel it, I cried because I love it. Like, I love it so much. Like, you really inspire me to do half the things I do. Like, all my friends just say I'm funny. I say I get it from you, DC, on Fly, all that. Like, I just love y'all. And one thing that's coming up is it's a Chicago influencer, and she's doing a Wild 'N Out Chicago. And I was like, I think I'd be perfect for this because I play the games all the time with my friend, especially pick up the kid. And I was like, man, but one thing I am is I'm nervous because I really want to make it because I know I can do it. Because even when I got older, I was like, yeah, I'm going to audition for Wild 'N Out. But I know if I'm nervous for her, I'm going to be nervous. But I'm nervous to talking to you right now. Like, I love you. Like, I don't know.
But that's what you got to take them nerves. I always say, like, that's that energy. That's those nerves. That's the universe telling you to go, you know, telling you to go for it. Like, I love that feeling. We talked about how do I get nervous? I don't get nervous, but that feeling you talking about, that adrenaline, that's my favorite feeling right before the show start, right before I run out on the Wild 'N Out stage. Like, you don't know what's going to happen, like that. You learn to love that feeling. You learn to yearn for that feeling. And as long as you are controlling yourself, you said, you know what, you funny, you know, you got it. So whatever you got to offer up, do that. So go definitely do that Wild 'N Out Chicago thing. And, you know, if you got this level of passion now, who knows where you be when we come back and we actually doing the auditions. You got to pull up.
Okay. I will. As soon as I turn, how old you got to be? 21, 18?
Well, let's finish our education first, but somewhere in that space, you know, somewhere in that space that's exactly where we want to start seeing people. It's usually fresh out of college is when we start to pay attention to a lot of the cast members.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Great talking to you. Thank you for being such a fan too. Love.
Did I grab Cheyenne and Aaron?
Yeah, you grabbed Cheyenne. I was the one whose camera wouldn't work.
That was Cheyenne went before Drea.
That's right. That's right.
That's what's up.
All right. So as we're winding down, Do we have any more? I think I see
Oh,
Anthony.
oh yeah, yeah. I just had a couple more questions.
All right, awesome.
How, uh, just a few years ago, you are Mr. Chi-Raq after all. So, how was it? It was a phenomenal Hall of Fame ensemble cast that you worked with, Spike Lee, the whole nine. What was it like being in Chicago? And around the time when Chi-Raq came out, it was just a lot of controversy surrounding around the city. You had the Laquan McDonald situation around that time, I believe, as well. So, what was it like, and also on the set being around such creative geniuses?
Man, that was a life-changing experience for me in many different ways. One specifically, just getting the opportunity to work with one of my mentors, somebody who I revere and look up to in such a way that he's a culture shifter, someone who he does his own thing, is Spike Lee. And that's the thing too, because with Spike, man, Spike he's not human, man. He operates on a different vibration, and he does what he wants to do, even when other people are telling you, don't do that. Like, so even Chi-Raq in itself was very, very polarizing for many. I probably, if I was him, for the story that he was trying to tell and what he was trying to do, I probably wouldn't have called the movie Chi-Raq, because I think, that term sends different messages to different people, when really ultimately he was trying to tell a classic tale from 2,000 years ago, Alyssa Strada, in a very modern way, where everybody didn't really grasp that concept. And you let him tell it, he did that on purpose because he was trying to shake things up. But a lot of people thought they might have been coming to see a movie about like one of our classic hood movies, when it was more it was an art piece. It was a piece that was satire. Satire told through sonnets and rhythmic poetry at time, which actually even opened up a lot of the stuff that I do in spoken word as well. So, and to this day, Spike says that's something that people will look back and they'll appreciate it and respect it for what it was, and how it was a capsulization, where a lot of the people in some of those upper echelon worlds really understood what he was trying to do and appreciated it, and kind of gave it this critical acclaim. But to the messaging to our community, at times it probably could have missed the mark, because it really didn't, it didn't do what we needed it to do in that process of healing, but I think that there's moments in there, if you look past, all that was going on with the propaganda and the media, there's some moments in that movie, man. One I'll never forget, probably one of the next to last scenes in the film, where it's me and Jennifer Hudson, and she's realizing she's facing someone who murdered her child, which was my character, and the emotion that she went through, even the things that she's gone through in her personal life, and for us to have to do that in front of each other was heavy enough. But then the thing that I'll never forget, in that scene, there was probably close to 100, if not more, mothers who have lost children to senseless violence in our streets, and they were holding the signs and pictures of their children. And these weren't actors; these were the actual mothers. That not only was I in tears, was Jennifer in tears, but every single one of them probably replaying their own history and their own stories in their mind were all in tears. So, and you see that in the film, but even just that presence, to just know there was so much healing going on, but there was so much pain being revealed. It's like, those are the moments where I was like, man, I wish the world could have focused on that, opposed to like the name of the movie, or focused on that opposed to like trying to get it to win awards and all of that, because that to me is truly about what Chicago is about. What we were really trying to accomplish is like going back to that resiliency, that power, that even when you lose someone, even when you take your story and you do so much more with it, and hopefully the ability to end senseless gun violence, to end, you know, the pain within our community. If it didn't strike a chord then, I know, you know, it's like it's a fine wine. Eventually people will tap into it and recognize it.
And my last question is, when collaborating on a project with someone, what pros and cons do you weigh before saying yes and no to a project?
Going back to passion, you know what I mean? You weigh out their passion and you weigh out your own personal passion. If they line up, then you do it. You know, I never do anything for money. I never do anything for to try to get to another level, or, you know, if anything, I'm probably anti that. I'm anti-industry. I'm anti my agents telling me what to do. Like, I try to find the passion. I much rather do something that's a pet project that I put my own money into than something that I got to go sit on a set all day and I don't really want to be there and I'm just doing it for a check. So I said, if it doesn't make me happy, I won't do it, because it's, I always learned a long time ago, money doesn't make you happy. Happy makes you money.
Absolutely. Amen.
And Tabernacle. We've got just two more students. Do I see, I see Aaron and Samantha.
Can I ask my question?
Who's speaking?
Jocelyn Hurd.
Hey, Jocelyn, you've been waiting for a long time. I guess we got 3 questions. Can we do 3 and that's it? I promise.
Yeah.
We good. My computer gonna die in a second, but we good.
Right. Okay.
I gotta go get my cord to plug it in.
Go ahead, Jocelyn.
Go ahead, Jocelyn.
My question is, I want to be a criminal defense attorney, and I want to know your advice about that.
Hey, Rumble, go for it. You know, that world, that I commend you. Wow, that's and that our criminal justice system is such a interesting conundrum of ideas and origins, that, you know, getting an opportunity to recently, you know, get a degree in criminology and knowing that's just, if you want to be a criminal defense attorney, that's just like, I was just scraping the surface. You got, you know, you start there and then you go so many layers deeper, you know, law school and all of that, you know, it takes a certain type of individual to go that far. So I honor and salute the fact that you want to do that. So go for it, do it, you know, get in there and reimagine criminal justice for our community. We need you.
Thank you. Thank you.
And then Aaron.
Hey.
Hey, Aaron.
You hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. There we see you now.
This is a great opportunity to meet you. Thank you so much. My first question is from a friend of mine who wasn't able to make it. She is a freshman in college and an aspiring producer. She wants to know how you handle writer's block.
Oh, I'm actually, you know what's crazy? I actually have the opposite issue. Like, even all these things I've been telling you about, future projects, even in time, this quarantine, I'm literally trying to finish up about 4 scripts at once. And I have to write them all at the same time, because it's like, and that is actually how I deal with writer's block. So because I'm doing so much, I'll write maybe 10 pages one night on this script and I'll just get stuck, and I'll just go to the other script and try to come, and I'm gonna come back to that once I figure out where I'm stuck at, but I just move on. So, and I mean, it's worked. I don't know if that's the greatest way to go about it, but that's actually how I deal with it. And like, even within writing 4 scripts at once I get one to a certain place, I pass it off and let someone else read it and then give me their notes. And then usually that inspires me to kind of fix whatever blockage I had in that space. But it's like, I'll write something, 10 pages, send it off, go back, write something else. By that time I'm finished with that, they'll send their notes back, and then I kind of piggyback and domino effect from that.
And then Coach Evans, you want to jump in real quick?
Oh, sure.
Sure. Hey, Nick, how you doing? I'm the art teacher at THORNWOOD, and I just wanted to take a second and say I really appreciate you taking time out of your day talking to the kids, and certainly plugging the arts, which oftentimes does not get a lot of love. We're always trying to get the kids to have that creative outlet, but just, you know, also your words today, just how deep, thoughtful, meaningful, impactful, and inspiring they are to the young kids. I just really thank you for that. And, you know, I wanted to mention about 3 years ago in 2017, one of our great United States Olympic hurdlers was named the head track coach at Howard. So don't ever hesitate plugging the Howard track program. It has certainly been on the come up the last 3 years. And he actually just finished some recruiting here in the Chicagoland area. And the program keeps getting better and better every year. But I just wanted to thank you on behalf of the art department at Thornwood.
I love it. I love it. Definitely, man. I truly appreciate that, Coach Evans. And like I said, I tried running track a little bit in high school, and I remember trying to run the 4 and made it halfway through and had to walk the rest of the way in the middle of a meet, and then threw up once I finally crossed the track. I was like, yeah, track's not for me. I'm gonna go back to this acting and music stuff because I don't have it like that. But I had fun on the track team until those couple of meets, and I figured out it wasn't for me.
Yeah, that 400 is no joke, but
yeah.
I
didn't know you were supposed to pace yourself. I tried to shoot out the blocks. You came around that last corner. It was a different world.
And then we're gonna sneak in Anaya right quick to close us out before we pass the microphone to
I didn't get to ask.
Let me grab my plug because the computer about to die. Give me 2 seconds.
Aaron, I got you. I didn't realize that you were muted. I thought you were finished. So we'll do your personal question and Anija's, okay? I got you.
Can I ask my question next?
Okay.
Can I ask a question next?
Oh, all right. Now we good. We back.
Okay.
So I had a personal question of my own. So I know you've been talking about the time management and energy management, but I'm somebody who wants to do multiple things. I want to act, sing, design my own clothes, start my own hair business. It's like so much I want to do. And it's like, I know time management and that energy management is important, but it's like, I don't know exactly how to proceed forward because I know I want to go to college and I have to do some type of business. I don't know exactly like what I'm supposed to be majoring or minoring in right now.
Yeah, well, I'll give you two ideas. I mean, one, that's really what college is for, especially in your freshman year, like is to figure that out. You'll find your passion. Even myself, later in life, went to college. I started in one major and one idea in communications, and by the time I finished, I had a degree in something completely different. And I think that's many people, when they go to college, they'll tell you that it's better to know, just even financially and everything what you want, because then you won't just be wasting your time or your money on certain classes and stuff. But that's what college is for, to figure out what you want your career to do. But even outside of college, I would say just some advice, because what I had to go through when I find myself wanting to do multiple things all the time and not finding a true focus, I usually don't get any of it done. So it's about finding that common ground, and that's why I talk about that energy management, because once you find a nucleus of something, then that usually allow you to do anything. When I sign different artists who come up with bunches of ideas, or they want to do clothing lines and this, I was like, all right, you're going to be able to do all of that once you succeed at this. So find the one thing that you can succeed at the quickest, and then everything else will follow.
Thank you so much.
No doubt.
And what was it? Anaya? No. Cameron Woodward.
Carmen, where is she?
Carmen. Is it Carmen?
Nick Cannon, how do you keep up with all the stuff that you do?
Yeah, that's my mama asks me that every day. It's funny because it seems like I do a whole bunch of stuff, but to me, it's all one job. Like I said, I get to wake up every day and be creative. And, I'm in the business of me, which is, a blessing, because I don't have to report to anyone. I'm my boss. I get to bounce all the ideas, and I get to make the schedule. So it's usually, and then I have a team that supports me based off of knowing what those goals and passions are for that time being. And, when you have good people around you who can guide you in the right direction and help you accomplish your goals, it usually all flows together. I mean, of course, I always feel like it's a ticking clock and I want to get so much done, but you know, long as everything's lined up, whatever's in front of me, I just got to knock it down.
Absolutely. Amen. Amen. Yep. Amen. And I know one of the students, this is one of the last ones, the documentary, Dr. Sabu.
Oh, Dr. Sabi, Doc. Yeah. Yeah, man. I mean, literally when the thing I'm doing as soon as I end this, I'm going into the edit bay right now. And we knocking it out. Definitely in tuned and partnered with Nipsey Hussle's family. And, you know, before Nipsey passed, this was something that was a passion that he wanted to do. So I'm doing it for him. And, you know, even my own holistic approach at life and health. And we're going on this journey. It's an interesting one. It's a powerful one. And I believe people will be excited to see it. And, you know, it's been a lot of hurdles, but it's happening. And, you know, we're editing it right now. We're finishing it up.
Amen.
Can I ask a question?
Aziza, you've been so patient. You have been probably the most patient person on the planet. We'll close you out with you.
We appreciate your patience.
Despite like having to probably deal with like discrimination, criticism, and rejection, how are you still able to be confident and level-headed despite all of that?
Great question. And I would just probably expound on what I was saying earlier about going within. Because there's so much noise. There's so much noise out there. Like you said, criticism, discouragement, discrimination. And once you go within, you silence all of that. And then from going within, it's also about levels. Like I'm a real, like I get real into the energy, and people always ask me like wearing turbans and all that stuff. I try not to get too weird with it, but it actually goes to a place about having synergy and really blocking out everything else, not caring about what people say, not caring about what other people's opinions. And that allows you to elevate to a different frequency. And what I mean by that means I'm in a place where, you know, what frequencies are is they're like vibrations. There's things that you can hear, like high pitched frequencies are piercing, low frequencies rumble and shake things up. And that's like, those are musical terms. And like something even like dissonance is a lot of clashing noise. So those are all the things when you speak about where like criticism, hate, discrimination, discouragement, that's where that space lies. And you want to get to a place where everything flows melodically and everything is at a space. And that's a frequency where usually you're on one accord with yourself. So to say all of that and step out of music terms for a moment, it's just really getting to a space where you become your own best friend, where you become your own #1 fan, where you become your own motivational speaker, to where you tell yourself what you want to do. You don't listen to the others. Because like I said before, you know, what other people think about me is none of my business. That's how they feel. You know, it's like, and I always say haters are help, and we don't argue with the help. We let them, like I always say, I'll never mind when I can't change the minds of small minds. Like I'm on my own vibe. I'm on my own vibration. And the best are that same way. People always want to call a lot of the people that we love weird or strange. When you see these people, they're usually just on their own frequency and their own vibration. And they're offering their gifts to the world the way they know how to. And you just got to get on that similar frequency to where you know how to love you, appreciate you, and champion you.
All right, thank you.
No doubt.
I don't even know where else to go with that. So
I was like,
I think you just like dropped the mic right there.
Was that the last gem to drop?
That was a Kobe mic drop right there.
Because it was one of those, it was that moment where, you know, you've had a lot of moments that resonate for everyone on this call, right? But I think when you're speaking of I'm gonna say spirituality because I don't have another term for it at this moment. But when you are talking about those frequencies and you're talking about being in tune with oneself and in turn being in tune with things that are perhaps higher than us, right, on a different frequency than us, and then walking inside of that path,
Mm.
all of the protection that you could possibly get, all of the love that you receive, the respect that you yield, when you tune out all of the other noise, I think that is probably the first thing to take away, right? Because everything else is going to follow after
Mhm.
that. Your success, knowing which goals to go after or not, all of the other junkiness will clear away because you've kind of settled within yourself and gotten in tune with some other things. So I mean, that's kind of it right there, right? Um, I want to tell you, thank you so much for joining. Thank you for spending 2 hours with Chicago. You
No
spent
problem.
2 hours with us.
No problem. I appreciate it. It's been a pleasure.
This has probably been one of the dopest conversations that we've had to been able to have. And Mr. Coleman is the one that always brings us with these folks who are unbelievable. So shout out to Mr. Coleman. Thank you for that. The next time you're in Chicago, Nick, I need you to try B Gab's Goodies in Hyde Park if you haven't before.
Okay.
Capital B apostrophe Gabs, like Gabriella, and then
Mhm.
Goodies. She is a small business, Black owned business, plant based. She has some of the best like zucchini
Yeah,
pasta
that's it.
situation, yeah, that I've ever had. I'm not vegan, but I love her. Like I go to her. Sea moss, all that good stuff.
Oh, I'm gonna
So
definitely check that out. I need that.
yeah, so check her out. She's in Hyde Park on
Right
like
there in Hyde Park. Okay, for sure.
yeah. So next time you're
Lord.
visiting, yeah, make sure you check them out.
I
Um, do you want to close out? Do I get to do a Go T-Birds? I know we got a bunch of other people, and I don't want to just rep Thunderbird Nation when we've got Obama School and we've got District 152 and a half with us. And, you know, what can I do? What can I do?
I'm gonna sneak in one last question.
All right.
And this is my last question. Thank you so much,
Where we
Mr.
think.
Cannon, for everything.
Oh, you the man.
What
You got it.
what are 5 songs that are currently in your playlist right now?
Well, that's a
Ooh,
good question.
let's just look. Let's see. It's funny, man. Uh I'm a huge gospel fan.
Nice.
Obviously I came up in the church, so Scjr is her new project.
Oh man,
You know, just that
Scjr
Clark.
family out of Detroit.
Yeah.
Motown,
So
yeah.
that's always at the top of the list. And then I'm in the middle. I just did a movie, interestingly enough. So low key plug real quick. Me and Chris Brown and Birdman just did a movie that's about to drop. So we're finishing up the soundtrack. So those are besides that, there I have a new song with NBA Youngboy and Birdman that's in my playlist called Cat Talk. A Roddy Rich record that we about to drop, and then a Chris Brown, Tiger, and YG song. So that's that's my top 5 right now. Was that 5?
Oh man.
Yeah. So yeah, that was the top 5 right there.
Oh wow.
So look forward to that. The movie's
Brown.
called Speedball. It'll be out in it's been winning a lot of awards and film festivals and stuff, and now we're gonna be releasing it, at the top of the year. So hopefully the theaters and stuff will be open. If not, it'll be everywhere else you can see it.
Oh wow. That's amazing. Oh man. We'll be looking out for those upcoming projects, definitely. Hey, AP Brown.
Oh, I get to do it. Yay. Okay. So first of all, thank you everyone for being on this call. I need all folks from our South Highland, from our sender schools and our feeder schools that are hanging out with us. If you guys can unmute your mics, all of our students, all of our teachers. I think I saw our assistant superintendent hiding in the background, Dr. Doss. I peeped you. Thank you for joining us. If you guys could unmute your mics. Nick, this is what we do after every single everything, just to maintain feelings of a community, a family, recognizing that we're all in this together, we're all striving together, growing together, being resilient together. My building principal likes to close us out with a couple of words of wisdom, like make it a great day. And then he'll say, as always, and then as a unit, we'll say, go T-Birds. So if you could, after that little pause from as always, say, go T-Birds with us, it will make our day. And I see Coach Deloach saying, go Eagles. If we could do like a T-Birds, Eagles, you dig, that would be awesome. Can we do that?
Thank you. Yes.
All right, because I don't want to leave anybody out, and I don't want to, we're all in it together. All right. So, Nick, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for your presence, for your vibe, for your energy. Thank you for talking with our students, being honest and transparent, being an inspiration for everyone on the call, you know, children, teenagers, and adults alike. I think we all feel like we made a brand new friend, and you're all of our best friends. And
yes.
So, you know, and so with that, we're going to make it a great day and a great weekend. And as always,
go
T-Birds! Thank you guys so much.
Hey,
God bless you, y'all. God bless you.
Yeah, hopefully we get to see you again, Nick. It's been awesome.
Thank you.
Thank
we got
you
this
very much.
Anytime. I can't wait. I can't wait to come back to Chicago.
Oh yeah, we gotta get some Eagles gear, some Thunderbird gear. Like you gotta rock the blue and gold. It's official.
Yeah.
We got this garage for you as well now.
That's right. And I think we had a t-shirt of the day for you as well, right? Mr. Coleman?
Yeah.
Okay. So you got gifts from everywhere. We'll get it to you through Mr. Coleman, I'm sure.
Yes. Yes.
Right.
Love and light. Y'all take care.
Healthy.
Bye, Nick.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
All right, y'all.
Bye.
Bye now, darling.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. We'll hang up at the end so that we can make sure our recording works. So we'll wait till you guys hang up, and then we'll get it recorded.
Bye.
Have a good one. Thank you guys.
Mr. Coleman and Miss Brown, thank you so much for inviting Obama to this. We had an awesome time. I appreciate the invite and thank you.
Thank you. We're gonna keep
Hi, babies. I saw you guys' name on there. I miss you guys. Some of my high school students are on there. It's good.
Oh,
Hi,
wow.
what
What a small world.
It is.
Yeah,
I saw
they
about
come from Obama and come to Thornwood.
Yes, I saw about 5 or 6 names. I said, okay, they're on here. That means they're doing well. That's a good thing.
We'll stay in touch, Coach. Thank you so much.
Yes, please do. Thank you again. Thank you, Mr. Coleman. Good seeing you.
Oh,
Coach
yeah.
Evans, how you doing?
Thanks again for setting that opportunity up today, guys.
I'm so glad you gave it a hop on, Coach.
An opportunity.
Yeah.
Okay, I want this t-shirt, like T-Birds do it. Like, how am I missing this?
Oh, this
How
was
did I not get that?
Man.
This was the football apparel.
Oh,
You know,
man.
I'm gonna get on Coach Smith and Coach and Miss Comby and be like, so what's up?
Great job, Maria.
Glad you enjoyed it.
Great job, Maria.
Thank you, Veronica. I really
Great
appreciate
job.
it.
Awesome. Awesome.
I'm gonna keep you in the loop for all of the ones that we do. I'm gonna make sure that you are a part of them because I think that, you know, great team. We're a great team. So thank you.
Great job. Great job.
I appreciate it. Enjoy your weekend, lady.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye. I think we're down to, so Lorna is my mother. I need to like hang up her phone.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I'll hang up now to see
Okay.
if it's gonna regenerate.
Okay, cool.
All right.
All right. Thank you.